You are the project manager of a project that involves developing a shopping mall and a website to fill the mall with tenants. You have decided to outsource the website part to a vendor. Okay. Given the absence of a defined scope of the site, you are opting for an agile approach which gives you an ability to respond to the changing requirement in a faster manner. Yeah. However, your procurement team is not comfortable with this idea as they feel having defined deliverable for the outsourcing work is useful. What should you do next? I'm sure some of you must have faced this situation because knowing well defined deliverable acceptance criteria and sign off details helps the procurement people to have a clear outsourcing process. If you say the scope will emerge over a period of time, especially if your procurement department is little traditional, will have a resistance. So what should you do in this particular situation? Let's look at the four options. Override the procurement team's concerns and proceed with the agile approach since you believe it is the best method for the project. You should focus on collaboration. Yeah, I can't be so sure about it. And as a project manager, I am not the alone driver when it comes to doing the procurement. So taking a directive approach or my way is the only right way, especially in a procurement space. And without any crisis, there doesn't seem to be a crisis visible in this particular question. Doesn't look right. Yes, we need to apply situational leadership, but this is not a situation to go for directive way of working. So look at option B. Take time to define the detailed scope of the website based on current assumptions and make a contract based on that with the provision of change requests. I can probably do that. Yeah. We can say that whatever is visible, we put it and probably find a vendor who understands that scope. And we have some mechanism of publishing and proposing the change. In that case, I am going away from the adaptive working for that piece of the work. And I'm finding some hybrid approach or some kind of predictive mixed with change driven approach. It is a potential option, but it is something that I am assuming that I can't negotiate with my procurement people. Yeah. I can't explain them, I can't work with them, and I'm saying, okay, let's do this. So someone said we are not comfortable. I'm just taking it directly without working and trying to find out some middle path. So it's a potential. Let's see if we have a better option where we can collaborate and with the procurement people and find some way of working in this context. If that is not there, then we probably go with the option B. Let's see. Option C. Since outsourcing with an agile approach is complex, cancel the outsourcing decisions and decide to develop the website in-house. That can also happen. Yeah. Nothing is final here. You understood, there are so many interaction needed and working with the vendor could be so complex here, and scope is also emerging and contract may also become complicated. You may end up dropping the idea of outsourcing. There's a possibility. Yeah. But as of now, the question was more focusing on the procurement people are not liking the idea, and you directly decide to drop the idea of outsourcing is requiring too many assumptions added. You may end up doing that, but you don't have to rush to that action. Again, acknowledge, analyze, act. Probably we have some middle path before I can conclude that I don't want to do an outsourcing. Let's see, option D is still pending. Let's look at it. Collaborate with the procurement team to explain how iterative deliverables and continuous feedback will be managed in the agile approach. That looks great because we are not saying do it or don't do it. We are not saying that you must have to outsource or don't. I'm saying, let me explain you. I understand your assistance. So, this particular option is basically focusing on education, helping them how, even working with Agile, we can have some checks and balances in place, and how working in the agile mode in this particular situation might be beneficiary rather than risky. So educating, collaborating stakeholder is always a good idea. So option D out of available option looks great. Other options are also potentially possible, but they require little bit assumptions and more aggressive action thinking. And D looks pretty safe given the condition we have in the question. Now, where it maps to the exam content outline, it focuses on negotiating project agreements. It is also focusing on collaborate with the stakeholders because we need to have a trust and win-win solution with our stakeholders also, not to push them just to follow your idea. And it also focuses on the process domain topic, which is focusing on determine appropriate project methodology, method, and practice. So when you focus on determine appropriate project methodology, method, and practice, it is just not limited to your project methodology. It is also related to the contracting and outsourcing methodologies work you are doing. You need to identify the appropriate methodologies there as well. And especially if you look from this particular task, we understood that it's a dynamic requirement, so I want to follow agile. So I should not be compromising on that until unless I have no option left out of available four. So option D helps me to continue with my thinking of agile and let me pursue and negotiate with the stakeholders. Overall topic covered, it does cover the idea of agile and agile contracting. That's pretty much visible here, and also covers working with the stakeholder, engaging them, collaborating with the stakeholders.